Saturday, September 16th, was the Mvskoke Creek Nation National Council Seat B primary election. Let's take a look at the results of Saturday's contest and what we can expect moving into the general election on November 4th. These results are unofficial. Mvskoke Media will report the official results as soon as they are made available by the MCN Election Board. McIntosh District saw Adam Jones III retaining his council seat. Mvskoke District incumbent Representative Joyce Deere retained her seat by a large margin of 50.88% of the vote. In Mvskoke District, Franklin Coachman heads into the general election showdown with Travis Scott. In the capital seat of Okmulgee, James Jennings and Carmen Tecumseh Williams move on to the general election. Tuckabuchee District will see Thomasine Yahola Osborne face off against Edwin Marshall November 4th. Tulsa District incumbent Representative Lucian Tiger III will face Shara Giles in the general election runoff. The Wagner County contest saw incumbent Mark Randolph defeat Timothy Jackson Jr. with over 60% of the vote. Creek District saw a very close race that resulted in George Tiger and Patrick Freeman Jr. progressing on to the November 4th contest. Incumbent Dodie Barnett from Creek District chose not to run for re-election, and Mvskoke Media was afforded an interview with Representative Barnett about her decision and advice to future council reps.
So being on the council these past 5.5 years, to me, it has meant service, giving back, and being involved, being able to attempt to fix all of the things that we saw that needed fixing coming in. And some of those things have been successful and some of them not so much, but that's okay. When you're elected, I think in my brain coming in, I thought that there would be this orientation or a preparing when you get here, and there's really not right now. And I know that that's varied in the past. A lot of it is specialized, it's taste, some of it is, up to the speaker. We don't have any set orientation policies, or we don't have any set policies or directives that help you those first few days. So the way the process works is you get elected, but you're not actually officially elected until after the election results are certified. So you're in limbo there for about a week. You're just in a holding pattern. There's nothing to do. There's no forward movement there for a few days. Once the election results have been certified, there's no challenges. Everything is a go. At that point, you come in and you talk to HR about your benefits, you meet the staff, and one of the things that was most challenging in the beginning was just knowing where to go to do what. So who has what responsibilities and what committee you're going to be on. You won't know that until after the inauguration. And so at the beginning, it's just getting all of your materials, ordering your equipment, getting your books, and getting prepared mentally. I would advise or just recommend for any of the new council people coming in that you familiarize yourself with the policies and procedures and any law that you can, because we're legislators, we follow the law, we write law, and so if we don't know the law, then we are at a disadvantage coming in. Misconceptions about council representatives and our roles and responsibilities. So I think the biggest one is that people think that we handle day-to-day operations. So for example, if you get turned down at social services, a lot of people will call us. And I have absolutely no qualms. I am happy to advocate or assist in those instances. But whenever it comes to working with the departments themselves, the departments have privacy policies that they have to follow, especially on the healthcare side. People will call you in trying to navigate the healthcare system. And I will say, after Mr. Terry came in, my calls greatly reduced regarding healthcare. I think that they're doing a much better job of being responsive and being on top of those situations. But people will call you and their privacy concerns, because we're not bound, we're not employees of the nation. So we don't have access. We can't go over and say, okay, here's your file and this is what we're gonna do. And they, I think, sometimes expect us to come in and step in and tell those employees what to do. And we don't have that authority, nor should we. That actually falls under the administrative branch. Advice to upcoming representatives: get ready. You're in for a ride. So I think that you have to be very tough-skinned. No matter how tough-skinned you think you are, when you get here, it's a whole new ball game. Henry Ford once said, you can't make everybody happy, but you can sure make them mad all at the same time. Some days it'll feel like that. Some days it'll feel like the whole world's mad at you, and you just have to be convicted and know that what you're doing is right. And so always be prayerful and be responsive to the people and be open-minded. If someone comes and they tell you a story and it just sounds horrible and it makes you mad and it makes your blood boil, be sure and get the other side of that story before you go and try to advocate or take any actions, because there's always at least two sides to every story. And sometimes I think that once you get on council, most people on council that I've known, you have a big heart, you have a servant's heart, and you want to respond to those people. And we just have to be very careful and very diplomatic about the way we respond in any situation. So just always remember to talk to the frontline workers. So if you have a bill about education, talk to the educators, because just because we're making laws or passing these contracts doesn't necessarily mean it's the best thing. The people, boots on the ground, that's where you want to be, because that's where you get the most response, and that's where you really see the whole situation and you get the most energy invested back into you too, because sometimes it's really easy to be insulated in the mound building and not know what's going on outside of the mound building. So just always being responsive and talking to people and just enjoying your time, and make sure your family's ready. They'll hear things about you that will make them very mad, but make sure that they've just got tough skin like you and say, you know what, don't worry about that. We know we're on the right track. I think the only thing that I would add is just that it's been an honor and a privilege to be able to serve my people, and it's just been amazing, the response and the love and support and just inspiration. Creek people are amazing, so keep being amazing, Widow.